Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Apri Sayekti and I work with my colleague Rizka Amalia Nugrahapsari from Indonesian Center for Horticulture Research and Development and also Abdul Muiz Hasibuan from Indonesian Industrial and Beverage Crops Research Institute. Today I want to present my research which entitled Seasonal Variation in Hybrid Seed Adoption, the case of chili in Indonesia. I'm focusing on chili since chili is one of the most important vegetables in Indonesia as the majority of local culture food ingredients use this commodity. The indications are the high consumption rate and considered as one of the main contributors for the national inflation rate. Why? On the demand side, there is a certain occasion where the demand for chili increased significantly, such as during important festivals, Ramadan, Eid, Christmas, etc. On the supply side, seasonal nature of chili and its dependency on weather situation contribute to the fluctuation of production and supply. The fluctuation of supply side and demand side are often mismatched, which eventually cause the high price volatility. The seasonal variation in chili production is highly affected by the changing in climate pattern. Especially for chili farming, the extreme weather conditions such as heavy rainy season or drought during dry season influence on the threat of pest or disease outbreak and also productivity. Another example is the level of production frequently decreases significantly during rainy season as the response to physiological stress. In regard to its vulnerability to climate or weather pattern, chili farming system in different seasons also many different technological support, including the varietal choices. While chili farmers concerned on the climate or weather variability, some farmers indicate that they also aware if some chili varieties have a better performance in certain situations such as during rainy season. It's different from perennial crop which have a technological lock-in, especially in changing variety. In chili production, farmers can easily change varieties across seasons to pick which are more adaptable to the current or future climate. In the breeding program as well, many improved seeds are designed to adapt across seasons, such as have a potential to capitalize on good rainfall years and also adapt well during dry season. Hybrid seeds, for example, are genetically superior seeds that could contribute to higher and more stable crop yields, lower losses to pests, disease, and adverse weather conditions, so that it could be more profitable for farmers. Even though the claim of superiority of hybrid seeds is well known, evidence to date suggests that many smallholder farmers in Indonesia still regularly use open pollinated seed or seed that saved from previous harvest. This is because smallholder farmers face constraints to adopt hybrid variety. Farmer behaviors to select seed types are associated with different factors, such as characters of farmers and land types, the household asset, income, the output and input prices related costs, and the institutional factors such as organization membership. Those constraints may not be stable all year. They may differ across season, so that the cost may be also different across season. Ensuring reliable access to improved seed for smallholder farmers, the robust seed system is required all year across season. However, little is known the factor associated with the varietal adoption across seasons. The limited of hybrid seed adoption studies on high-value commodities also today tend to focus on the yearly adoption and seem neglect the disadoption in the short term, which may not capture the cyclical season variation. That's why, in this study, we have hypotheses that hybrid seed adoption may vary across seasons. The objective of this study are to uncover the seasonal dynamics in hybrid seed demand and then to identify season-specific constraints to hybrid seed use. This study used data obtained from a survey of Australian Centre for International Agriculture Research or Indohort project in West Java Province, Indonesia. This province was selected as it is the biggest chili production center in Indonesia. The survey was conducted in three districts, Garut, Ciamis, and Tasikmalaya district, and the survey covered 597 chili farmer households, which selected randomly from 15 sub-districts and 41 villages. Data was collected from three planting seasons, which were rainy season, first dry season, and second dry season to capture the adoption dynamic across the season. Farmers' adoption decisions on the chili hybrid seeds are assumed to be based upon utility maximization. The relationship between the utility varieties are postulated to be a function of the factor of observed farmer or household characteristic, farm characteristic, and the technology-specific characteristic. Distribution of F is not restricted to be linear. In Indonesia, typically land ownership is not in a single overlay but in several plots. One farmer household has more than one plot and select more than one variety of chili. Consequently, farmer selection of varieties cannot be generated into a single selection in every household. That's why Tobit model is preferable. Tobit model estimates the likelihood of adoption and the intensity of adoption, because jumping from zero for non-adopting chili area to something which is continuous decision is irrelevant employing a binary function. Descriptive statistics show that area planted for hybrid varieties is different from each season. During the rainy season, farmers tend to use the hybrid seeds even though the area is just slightly higher compared with dry season 1. Since dry season 1 still have relatively enough rain, the differences of planting area is not that much different from the rainy season. Based on this fact, we argue that the farmer's decision to use hybrid seeds seems to have a relationship with water availability. This table shows the estimation result of the determinant factors associated with the hybrid seeds adoption across seasons. I just want to point out the interesting results. First, household assets are associated with hybrid seed adoption. For example, farmers with larger land ownership are more likely to adopt hybrid seed in dry season 1 and rainy season. Despite the land ownership, the other production asset also associated with hybrid seed adoption. Mobile phone ownership is associated with a higher probability to use the hybrid seed in dry season 1, while the ownership of cattle or buffalo, goats, or sheep asset has a negative relationship. Ownership of misblower and motorbike have a higher probability to use hybrid seed in dry season 2. The ownership of power tiller has the same relationship in dry season 1 and rainy season regarding the probability of the farmers to use the hybrid seeds. Distance from home to asphalt road is associated negatively to hybrid seed adoption in dry season 1. It indicates that if the farmer's house is more remote from asphalt roads, they are more likely to grow open pollinated or save seed in this season. It also implies that better access to transportation infrastructure seem to have a relationship with the farmers' preferences toward hybrid seed. However, the negative sign of irrigated land with the adoption in rainy seasons might be associated with the farmers' preferences to grow staple food during the rainy season. We know that farmers in Indonesia typically are subsistence farmers who think to make them secure, they have to plant paddy at least one season per year. The next possible explanation is that farmers may prefer open pollinated or safe seeds to be grown during rainy in irrigated land, as this type of land potentially experience waterlogging during the rainy seasons, which could cause psychological stress for chili or more massive disease infection. For this case, open pollinated or safe seed may perform better. However, this argument needs further investigation. On the other hand, irrigation system in Indonesia is facing crucial issues. Tertiary irrigation based on regulation is the farmer's responsibility. However, most of the farmers are smallholders who do not have sufficient budget to fix the damaged irrigation. Consequently, the irrigation system is getting worse. Total of damaged irrigation is more than the total of good condition irrigation. The availability of sufficient irrigation all season may play an important role for the farmers to decide planting chili. So, what we can conclude from this study attempts to understand the factors associated with the pattern of the adoption high quality chili hybrid seeds by small scale farmers, with the case study in the three districts in West Java province. An important finding is that the farmer's decision to use hybrid seed seems to be associated with the water supply, especially during dry seasons. Factors determining the farmer's behavior could be different across seasons, implies that it is important to understand the adoption behavior in different time frames, especially which related to climate or weather situation. For further research, it is important to understand the relationship of chili farmers' behavior in their decision to use a certain type of seed with climate change issue.